beautiful morning. You're welcome to Women's Corner. Today is the 30th of September. Obviously, the last day in the month of September, and of course, tomorrow will be 1st of October, we'll be celebrating the 64th Independence Day in Nigeria. Okay, my name is Rose Blossom. You're welcome to Women's Corner. You know what we do here. It's all about women. We talk about women. At the same time, we include children also, and of course, we include our men. Okay, today is quite interesting because we're going to be talking about young career women and balancing their marriage. You know, while you're getting your career moving up, of course, you have to balance your marriage. I have an amazing guest all the way from the state. She'll be joining us. She's already in already. But before I introduce my guest to you, let's go for a short break. And right after the break, we'll be discussing our topic for today. But do not forget, we're live on Facebook and on Twitter. Just type in Galaxy Television and you have us right there. Also, we have our YouTube channels. We have Galaxy TV, we have Galaxy TV News, and we have Galaxy TV Entertainment and Galaxy TV Comedy. But right after this break, we'll come back to the studio, of course, to continue the program, Women's Corner. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. Yes, let me introduce my guest. Her name is Dr. Onyeka Gabriels Kalu. She's a medical practitioner. She's the founder of Kong. She's also the CEO of Princess Travels and Tour. Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
You're looking pretty. How are you doing this morning?
Thank you so much. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you too. Okay, let's talk about women career first before we talk about balancing their marriage. Now, what do you think are one of the most important things or tools a woman needs to have if she needs to push her career forward as a young person? Not even, let's not go to the marriage yet. You're a young woman, you want to build your career, you want to get there, and as fast as possible, you want to maintain that career. What are the tools or what are the things she needs to have for herself to be able to ascertain the career?
Okay, so first of all, as a woman all over the world, it's just harder getting into any kind of field at all, especially getting into a field that is male dominated. The first thing you should have as a young lady trying to climb your career path should be confidence. Hello?
Confidence. Yeah.
Yes, so it should be confidence. Confidence is the first thing because no matter where you find yourself, you have to speak for yourself. You have to show how confident you are and how willing you are to take up a certain position. The next thing you have to do is to be determined. Determination is like a major factor because honestly, it's one thing for you to be confident and it's another thing for you to be determined. You have to be confident, determined, focused. Being focused is another major thing you have to acquire as a young lady because being young, being a woman, it's when you get into any kind of field at all, we already have people who look down on you. They feel you're too young, you don't know what you're saying, or you're a lady, you're not too sure what you're saying. So you have to be focused, you have to be determined, and you have to be confident. That's the three major skills I believe you need to have as a young lady.
I love that very much. Confidence, focus, and determination. Beautiful. Once a woman has that, the career will start moving for her. So I want to ask, now we know that a lot of people have this, I'll not put it as a back-end information. There's this more like a stigmatization that when you are, moving up the ladder in your career, it's quite difficult for them to balance marriage. So very quickly, how often do you think women can be able to still balance their career at the same time manage their marriage properly?
I think most of the times when we hear things like this, I would call it a myth. I mean, you never know till you actually get married. And this is where getting married to a good and understanding partner actually comes in. If you get married to whoever doesn't understand how being career focused is so much of an importance, then you know you're in trouble. Well, I just believe as a young lady, you should get married to someone who understands what and where you want to do in the nearest future. So balancing is actually not a problem when you have that understanding with your partner. So for me, I go to work in the mornings, and sometimes I work 7 days straight. And I get back home, I have an understanding partner who knows that I've had a long day. We just communicate about it, and it's not an issue. So once again, I just believe that it's all in having an understanding partner, whether it's a husband, whether it's a wife. The key point is having an understanding partner.
That one, the fact that everybody needs to understand that you have to have an understanding partner. But let's look at it from the other way. Let's assume you have a man and you felt he's the understanding one before settling down. He's telling you, oh, don't worry, you want to push your career, I'm going to take you there, I'm going to help you, I'm going to support you. Now, eventually you got married and he sees you climbing up the ladder and he has a problem with it. Something happens. I don't know what happens, probably communication, or he believes, no, he was not expecting you to go that far, and he started becoming an issue to you. Now, at that point, he was understanding before getting married. It was something both of you have talked about before getting married, and while even being married, at the same time, you're still working with it. But eventually, you are now getting very much I don't know how to put it, like so high the ladder, and he feels like, okay, I think this is beyond what I thought she was going to ascertain. Now, a woman in that situation, what advice will you give to her to be able to still maintain, that marriage? Because sometimes if care is not taken, you might lose your marriage, and because you're focusing on your career. So how do people tend to balance these two, especially when the partner was understanding but change happened?
So, over time, we do realize that people change. I think every human being on earth is subject to change. Even for animals, you have a dog who was a puppy that loved you and at some point has started biting you. So we do experience those kind of changes. And I think those are things that women or men, whoever that wants to be career opinionated, should always put at the back of their head that this person could change at any time or at any point. And if he does change, what do I do? I won't be in the position to tell anybody what exactly to do. I mean, it's their marriage. But it could be you try to work on it, maybe try to balance it out properly. Oh, okay, I'm not working this day. I see as my priority. Maybe it's either two things. Are you jealous of me? Or are you scared that because I've gotten to a certain career point, I probably am not, putting focus more on our marriage or on our family? That's something that we have to talk about. But if you get to the point where you realize this partner of yours is probably, in quotes, jealous, this happens from time to time, that's when you have to weigh your options. Do you want to go ahead in the marriage, or do you want to focus more on your career? I think that's up to the individual, to be honest with you. But I believe having an understanding partner is still the key thing, like I said earlier, because yes, people change, but that's where kindness, that's where understanding, that's where forgiveness comes in. So if you don't want to have these qualities in a guy, okay, for instance, he's very understanding. What happens when he stops to be understanding? Is he kind? Is he apart from being understanding, is he kind? Does he know your importance? Does he value you? So these are different things that just come into play.
Okay, I love what you just said. Does he still value? Because I believe if a man that still, change happens, it's constant. But the man that just maintains that value, like he values you a lot as his spouse, not just as his spouse, he sees you more than even a spouse. I think even if he sees you climbing up the ladder faster than he thought you would, I think it's something he will always probably want to sit with you and you guys will talk about it. Okay, I have one question in relating to balancing marriage and of course career. Now, how do you prioritize your time? Because of course, like you said, you could stay days at work and come back because you have a very understanding husband. But at the same time, I still believe in time management, and I believe in how the activities both of you probably carry out together. So how would you advise a woman to be able to prioritize her time, either work or marriage or home? How would you advise them? How would you advise them?
So if you have a job where you're working, say 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, you do know that within those hours, it's just yourself, your boss, your work, whatever, your business, whatever it is. And then when you come back by 5 o'clock, I understand that sometimes you get tired, you want to take a nap, you want to, but because sometimes we get so busy in work activities that we forget our partner, in quotes, the understanding partner. So if we're getting back from work, say 5, 6, the best thing for you to do is, okay, you know what? Could we hang out? Could we watch a movie together? Could we go on a walk? I, for one, yes, I could work 7 days a week, and it could be round the clock, but it doesn't mean I don't get back home. When I'm getting back home, I'm refreshing. I'm like, oh, do you want to go for a walk? Do you want to have dinner? Do you want to have breakfast? Finding what is important to your partner is what makes you different from a lot of people. Finding what is important in your job or in your career or in your business is what makes you stand out from a lot of people. It is very possible to balance both. Work is work, home is home, study is study, partner is partner. You just have to make, because these are two things that are major priorities to you as a human being, and you just have to keep it that way. So, like I would say, it's quite easy. It's something you could always do. Just realize that if I'm at the office, if I'm on my laptop, it is work. If I'm off it, it is for my partner. Yes, you have your alone time. That's understandable, but just balance it out. I mean, these are two things that are very important to you as a human being.
Okay, so I want to ask now, for those who bring their work home, we have, because I believe if you're a career woman, it will get to a point you feel probably very overwhelmed and you probably have to bring some work home. What's your take on that side of the story when a woman brings her work home? Because I know when you do that, you might not be able to manage your time well with your partner or your children. So what's your take? And even if you have to, how would you advise a woman to go about that? Because a lot of men have issues with a woman, you're already at work, we know what you are and what you want to become, but you bringing it home is like an extra for them.
Personally, I do not enjoy bringing work home. I mean, apart from the fact that I have a family or I have a husband, I also like to keep work at work. Because even for my own mental health, it's something I like to do. Work has to be at work, and when I'm home, uh, it's not a do or die affair. It's something I could do when I get back to work the next day. Or if at all I had to do something that, some kind of work activity at home, it's probably something that is pre-planned, that I've told my partner about, that, oh, I have to do this on Monday, it's extra timing, I hope you don't mind. And that's how it works for me. But for other women or men in general, I would always say avoid bringing work back home, because I just imagine myself being maybe a remote worker working from the house, and I have a partner who goes out, say, normal 9 to 5, and he comes home and he's talking to me, and what I'm doing, I'm still on my laptop because I'm trying to get work done probably to the next morning. I don't see how that relationship will work,
Uh-huh.
because there's already friction. So, like I said, personally, I do not enjoy bringing work home. It's not good for my mental health. It's not good for my relationship. It's not something that I would advise the younger women coming up. You could find time maybe by midnight, maybe when you both are asleep, but
Uh-huh.
nothing extra. I mean, if you ask me, I don't think it should be a priority, really.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I do not support women working at work and you still bring the work home. However it is, like you said, perfect timing. When both of you are asleep, he feels you're sleeping. You cannot take your own time out and attend to the work. But when you're home, you have to face the home front. Anyways, Dr. Onyeka is still with us. Let's take a breather, just a short break, and we'll have her back so that she could share some probably personal experience. So a lot of women, because I know a lot of people, they like to learn from people's experience, and at the same time, while they're listening to advice, when you put yourself in a situation, it's like you're talking to them. They get to get it. So let's quickly go for this breather. Guys, welcome back. You're still watching Women's Corner with me, Rose Blossom. And of course, remember this program runs from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. Okay, we still have Dr. Onyeka Gabriel Kalu in via Zoom, of course. I'm always using in the building. She's a medical practitioner. She's the founder of Kwong, the CEO of Princess Travels and Tour. Amazing discussion we've been having. If you've missed it, go to our YouTube or Facebook or Twitter and join us right now. Okay, Doctor, I was talking about experiences. Now, I know you're a career woman already. For you to even say you can stay at work 7 days, but you always know how to balance it, it already shows you're a career woman. Now, I want you to just share your experience with us. Like, what was the most challenging part for you becoming a career woman and, you know, balancing your marriage at the same time? And how did you overcome the challenge too?
So I believe if I'm going to look at it from this angle, the most challenging should have been when I got a notification that I had to work 7 days in a row. And, you know, getting an email saying from working 5 days in a row with your husband and you're fine, Saturday, Sunday, you're having family time, and then now you get an email saying you work 7 days in a row with 1 week off. So it's 7 days on, 7 days off. So it means, for instance, this week I'm off, and then next week I'm on, and it's Monday to Sunday, and then the next week I'm off. So that was challenging. I mean, I couldn't even break the news because I didn't know how to start that. I would have to be away from the house for like 7 days. But it wasn't something that even caused an issue, to be honest. It was something we had to find balance for. And luckily, I work in the same state, in the same area where we both live, of course. So 7 days on our work back to back means him coming over at my lunch break, him coming over at any tiny break I have, so we could settle down and, you know, talk about our day without letting work, sorry, get in between our marriage or our relationship. Which I believe was an experience for me. I haven't had anything tougher than that yet. Hopefully, I have nothing tougher than that. But so far so good. It worked well, still working well. So we're able to, I think finding the balance is the most important thing as individuals, and we found that balance without having issues. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. So I just want to ask, have you, you know, becoming who you are right now today, have you had any setback or I know you talked about the 7 hours before you became what you are now, like who you are now rather. Have you had any setback at all whatsoever?
Yes, definitely. I had a lot.
Can you share just a few of them?
Yes, I'll start from the humble days in when I was in Nigeria, for instance. My first job in Nigeria, and we had just finished school, so, you know, fresh graduates, fresh medical students looking for something, and my boss then told me I was the youngest, so it was weird finishing school at, you know, quite the age I finished school. Then I'm finishing medical school after about 8 years or 9 years being in the university. And I was told that I wasn't up to be a doctor, but I was up to be a nurse. Because he just believes he was seeing the motherly instinct in me and not the doctor active instinct. So he didn't think I was up to the task. He thought I made a mistake, you know, going to medical school. And he didn't say this once, he didn't say this twice, he didn't say this thrice. He kept on going on and on. And that really, you know, at some point almost messed with my own self-confidence. But over time, I just believe that no one is responsible for my responsible for my growth, and that's something that's kept me going for a while. And when we talk about coming over to, leaving Nigeria and even working in different places outside Nigeria, it was also tough because one of the places where I worked, I realized that my male doctors were receiving more money than I was receiving, and I was doing more work than they were doing. You know, so you would always, as a young lady, you always find these things, especially the salary increase for male more than the females. I saw that severally, but it was something I was able to handle. That's why I said confidence is one thing, determination is another thing, and being focused is the third thing, because I had to walk into the office and list out reasons why I should be paid the same amount or probably higher because higher because I was doing more work, if you ask me. So yeah, I have come across several um, issues, but we just keep going.
Just keep going. Thank you very much for sharing your experience. That's amazing. I can't even imagine, you know, when you were talking about the facts whereby they said you're probably too young to practice what you just finished schooling and serving with. It's just amazing how the system sometimes wants to, you know, you know, they say something, they say Nigeria, you don't create your destiny, you don't create your career in Nigeria. Nigeria gives you a destiny they want you to fulfill. You want to go for be a medical doctor, you want to be a lawyer. The university, the system, the educational system will make you study something else you're not even interested in. But it's good to always push through, like you said, stay focused, determination, and of course be confident, which is a beautiful 3 tools that every young woman that wants to be a career should have. And of course, before I let you go, I just want you to give advice to young women who want to be a career woman. There are some persons that don't plan to have career. They just want to be home. They just probably want to have a business, or they just want to, you know, be a housewife. But for those that want to become bigger, they want to become a better version of themselves, what advice will you give to them for the upcoming ones? And of course, because they'll be settling down eventually, what are the key advices you would like to give to them before we let you go?
The first thing should be there is nothing impossible for you to achieve, regardless of if you are in your early 20s, your teens, middle 20s, late 40s. There is nothing absolutely impossible for you to do. If you choose to be a pilot today and say, I want to be a pilot, you can do it. There's absolutely, I know you would always hear people say, no, you're too old, or no, you're too young. It's not, there is nothing impossible for you. So keep that in your mind, because that's where the confidence comes in, that regardless of what the situation of the world or what the situation of Nigeria, for instance, is saying, I can still be whatever I decide to be. Be it even in business, you know, you can still be anything. So keep that in your head, because that's where, like I said, that's where the confidence builds from. Be very, very disciplined. It is not easy to reach a certain place. Florence Lakija did not get to where she is now because she slept all day, or because she, you know, just played on her phone all day. You got there because of hard work and discipline. Discipline is a major tool you need, especially as a woman. It is one thing to be confident, and another thing to build that discipline. When it's time to do this, do it. And you always have to be 10 steps ahead of your other counterparts. I won't call the gender, but you have to be 10 steps ahead of them, because already you are at a 1-0 loss. So make sure that you have that in you, and I promise you every other thing will come into play.
Amazing. Thank you very much. I hope every young girl out there is learning. Like, you know, it's amazing how you are now doing fabulous for yourself. If you had actually been way down by what was said earlier after your schooling days, you probably would have just given up and just, you know, become what they want you to be. But like you said, you have to be disciplined. You have to stay focused and do what you're determined to do. I love the fact that you said if you want to even become a pilot, whatever, at a young age, at an older age, whatever you want to be, age is just a number. It does not stop you from becoming the woman you want to become. I would just like to say, I appreciate you, Dr. Onyeka Gabriels-Kalu. Thank you so much for giving us your time and being available, and for your patience too, before bringing you on the show. That was very amazing of you. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed your section.
Thank you. I did. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So definitely when we give you another call someday for you to join, you will join, right?
Definitely.
Okay.
I'm here again.
Thank you very much. Do have a fabulous day, Dr. Onyeka.
Thank you so much. You too. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, all right. That's from Dr. Onyeka Gabriels-Kalu from the state. She's doing amazing work for herself. So for all women out there, like she said, there are key words, and the words is stay disciplined, stay focused, stay determined, be confident. Don't dawdle. Don't have little faith. Have more faith in yourself than in anything. Once you build that faith, you build that confidence, you stay focused, you discipline yourself. Like she said, Sophia Lakija did not do that by sleeping all day, or by partying all day, or by hanging out all day, or by maybe watching movies all day. No, there are a lot of things you need to put into yourself. You have to put a lot of hard work, and you have to concentrate on yourself.